This is where we buy and sell coconut. People import coconut from Seme, Togo, Lome, Ghana. The Igbo people buy the bigger coconut and sell a heap at 1,600, 1,700 or 1,800. But we buy the smaller coconut and sell at 1,000 naira or 1,100. It depends on the grade.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to NTA Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Olajide Bello. Many thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured the international community that the end of Boko Haram insurgency and terrorism in Nigeria is in sight. The president gave the assurance in Dakar, Senegal, at a panel discussion with other heads of state during the 3rd International Forum on Peace and Security in Africa. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The Peace and Security Forum, organized by Senegalese President Macky Sall in collaboration with the African Union, is aimed at sharing experiences and taking measures towards achieving a secure, stable, and conflict-free Africa by the year 2020. In their contributions, President Sall and the leaders of Cape Verde, Togo, Mali, and Libya, as well as the Defense Minister of France, posit that terrorism and violent extremism affect all regions and therefore require a synergy of efforts towards building suitable prevention and counter strategy beyond conventional security responses. President Muhammadu Buhari, who spoke extensively on the Boko Haram insurgency, noted with delight the increased cooperation and collaboration between Nigeria and her neighbors in the task of containing the menace. He said already in the neighboring Chad, the fleeing terrorists from Nigeria are surrendering en masse.
The good news I have is that the end of rainy season has come in that region. The multinational joint task force are in their respective positions, and at an agreed time, they need to move and move simultaneously and spontaneously, and for us, see the end of Boko Haram. We are now operating in Sambisa forest. Stability is within sight.
The president is, however, worried over the acts of economic sabotage in the Niger Delta, especially the subversion of the nation's critical assets offshore, as well as the theft and illegal transportation of crude oil through the Gulf of Guinea, and solicited continued support from the international community in containing the situation.
For all intents and purposes, we are in control of the situation in Nigeria, and we are using the leadership, both ethnic and military, to try and persuade the young men to down their arms. And this, we are succeeding. The main problem, I believe, for our region is unemployment of able-bodied persons. Nigeria, with a population of 180 million, 65% of that population is under the age of 35, and they are looking for jobs, any type of job, to survive.
His administration, he said, is committed towards addressing the problem of joblessness in the country by turning to agriculture and mining for enhanced economic fortune and food security. Governor Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe State corroborated President Buhari's submission on the Boko Haram insurgency, confirming that the terrorist group is on the verge of becoming history.
As I speak to you now, we have gotten relative fix, like now in Yobe, and I think we have not had any incidences of Boko Haram for the past 1 year or so. And the military are working hard. God will assist them, guide them to ensure that anything to do with Boko Haram has been eliminated.
Without security, we will not be able to achieve the goals we have set out for ourselves. In the Niger Delta, and in Edo State in particular, when we're doing a mapping of the communities that harbor militants and trying to see how we can engage the young people there.
The forum had as its theme, Africa meets its security challenges, viewpoints for efficient solutions. President Muhammadu Buhari has since returned to Abuja. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
6 newly appointed national commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC have been sworn in to fill existing vacancies in the nation's electoral body. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony, restated the commitment of his administration towards restoring the trust and confidence of Nigerians in the ballot box. State House correspondent again, Adamu Sambu, reports.
I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The new INEC National Commissioners inaugurated by the President include Muhammad Haruna, North Central, retired Air Vice Marshal Tijani Muazu, North East, and Abubakar Nahuche, North West. Others are Professor Okechukwu Ibiano, South East, May Agbamuche Mbu, South South, and Dr. Adekunle Agumola Ladipo, South West. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the appointees, expressed the belief that they are not unmindful of the unfortunate situations that characterize some of the by-elections conducted so far across the country. Their appointments, he therefore said, came at a critical time in the nation's political development when his administration is committed to bequeathing to Nigerians a legacy of integrity in the electoral process of the country.
You are people of great integrity, renowned throughout the country. This administration will depend on you to be firm and fair. We want every Nigerian to use his PVC, cross-checked by a card reader, that he has been given the opportunity, the security in their respective constituencies to elect those they want to elect. The rest is left to their conscience and to God.
Professor Okechukwu Ibiano, who responded on behalf of the new appointees, promised to live above board and exhibit high sense of patriotism in the discharge of their responsibilities. INEC National Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who witnessed the inauguration ceremony, expressed optimism that the new commissioners will add value to the commission in the task of consolidating the achievements of the 2015 elections, beginning with the forthcoming legislative rerun elections in Rivers State.
There is nothing new that we are going to do in Rivers beyond what we have always done. Votes must count, because ultimately it's the people of Rivers that will determine who will become their senators, members of the House of Representatives, and members of the State Assembly. We want to pledge to Nigerians that we will never shirk in that responsibility. We will continue to discharge our responsibilities according to the law and the Constitution of this country.
INEC, the national chairman, said, has a responsibility to the Nigerian nation and will never be distracted by any allegations. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, says the women will evolve strategies that will assist to free Nigerians from the shackles of corruption. She stated this today in Abuja while flagging off the Nigerian Women Against Corruption project of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Timothy Yusuf reports that the wife of the president, who noted that corruption has indeed crippled the nation's vital infrastructure, enjoined the wives of the governors to replicate the project in their respective states. While commending the EFCC for deeming it fit to carry women along in the fight against corruption, Mrs. Buhari explained that the change begins with May campaign of the Buhari government starts with women.
Corruption fuels serious crimes such as terrorism, kidnapping, child trafficking, drug trafficking, gun running, and a number of other crimes that directly and severely impact women of all ages and backgrounds.
Former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mariam Aloma Mukhtar, and other speakers were unanimous in their view that corruption is a cankerworm that must be stamped out of the country. The National Transport Commission Establishment Bill has been identified as one to help provide legal, regulatory and institutional basis necessary to interconnect and shape government policy on aviation to land and maritime transport. Senate President Bukola Saraki stated this in a message to a public hearing. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Joint Senate Committee on Land Transport, Maritime and Aviation. The Senate President, represented by the Senate leader, said the agency, when created, will be a regulator for the transport sector while providing framework for the provision of services.
This has the enormous potential of assisting our entrepreneurs to move goods and services much more efficiently, reliably in a multimodal system.
The Commission will also provide a mechanism for monitoring compliance of government agencies.
This bill will bring about some coordination to hit out a chaotic business order.
Minister of Transport Chibuike Amechi and that of Power Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola made their submissions.
Are we creating an implementing agency or a regulatory agency? And whatever we choose to create must follow first from policy. What is the policy at ministerial level that this seeks to achieve?
The NTC bill will create a legal framework that is in line with global best practices for the entire transport industry.
It is very difficult for you to regulate even the aviation industry under this particular body that is being proposed, because they have their own system of regulation.
The committee believed that if the bill is passed into law, the country will have an agency saddled with the responsibility of promoting and implementing a national transport policy that will set the sector on the path of development. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Senate Committee on Communication has directed telecommunication service providers to maintain the status quo on data tariff. This was at an interactive discussion on the recent report on the increase of prices of data at the instance of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. Musa Babaliu has the details.
The interactive discussion with service providers alongside regulatory agency was at the instance of the Senate following the concerns of some Nigerians over the attempt to increase prices of data per megabyte. The Nigerian Communications Commission, which is the regulatory body, insisted that there was no price increase but suspension of price flow. The benchmark was 3 naira 11 kobo per megabyte before it was suspended, which occasioned what the NCC called price war among service providers.
If all other telcos, as a result of this price war, die down, if they close shop, and the telco with the capacity to provide this very cheap data rate survives, then we have a monopoly. A monopoly that will spare the same danger we had in the days of NITA.
So I want to appeal to the distinguished Senate that in intervening, they should try to assist also in the area of holding the balance between the interests of operators and the interests of the Nigerian masses. There is need for you to work more, most especially in the media, so that the Nigerians can know what the true position is. Because with a floor price of 90 kobo from 311 naira, the gap is just there.
The service providers assured the committee that they will abide by the suspension directive. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Anu, has enjoined Nigerian researchers to come up with the solutions capable of enhancing socio-economic development of the society. This was at the second National Biotechnology Development Agency Open Day and Exhibition held in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The role of science, technology and innovation in the development of a nation cannot be overstated. This is simply why the Minister of Science and Technology believes that research is necessary to the achievement of science and technology-driven development. The minister represented notes that biotechnology is a key motivating force behind modern international science and technology development, with bioindustry becoming a center of attention of international competition.
Currently, biotechnology is entering a state of mass industrialization as biomedicine and bioagriculture are witnessing rapid expansion.
Director General of the National Biotechnology Development Agency, joins in the call for Nigerian researchers to initiate measures geared towards entrenching scientific awareness in key development areas.
In genetic modification technology, not going back. Because it is science, it is about development.
Experts at the event were unanimous in their view that biotechnology will provide solutions to major challenges facing mankind. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Ministry of Education says it is determined to wipe out illiteracy among the youth and adults before the year 2030. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Folashade Yemi stated this at a one-day stakeholders meeting and presentation of report on revitalizing in Nigeria project. Abdullahi Musa Suleja has details.
It is a UNESCO project designed to deliver basic literacy skills to adults and youth across the 36 states of Nigeria. Folashade Yemi said the project is born out of a memorandum of understanding signed between the ministry and UNESCO.
Over 5 million learners have been enrolled, and out of this, 4,589,637 persons have been made literate between inception and to date.
Director UNESCO Regional Office Abuja, Bernard Susu, said, as the project winds off this year, its core sheet must be presented to the government and other concerned bodies.
The rail project has been able to awaken the interest of some state government in non-formal education and has also brought to the limelight some of the best practices in some states.
There were testimonies of how the project impacted positively by the beneficiaries.
I am happy because I can now sign check and help my children with their school work.
UNESCO calls for the extension of the project, as out of 774 local government areas in Nigeria, only 146 have so far benefited. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
The federal government has warned serving and prospective corps members against hiding their health status from government officials to ensure their total safety while serving their fatherland. Minister of Youth and Sports Solomon Dalun and the Director General NYSC Brigadier General Suleiman Kazaure gave the warning while condoling with the families of the 3 corps members at the NYSC headquarters in Abuja. Olayin Kaujo reports.
Given the report surrounding the death of the youth corps member, Fedolapo Rachel, that has caused so much controversies in the last few days, was said to have suffered kidney infection. Brigadier General Suleiman Kazaure said late Rachel first appeared at the NYSC camp clinic in Kano with complaints of headache and fever. On examination, the doctors noticed rashes on her legs, which she said started appearing as a result of her using a second-hand knicker without washing. The doctor immediately administered drugs. A day after, she was brought back to the clinic by her colleagues with complaints of vomiting and body pains. The NYSC boss noted that while she was at the hospital where she was taken to, she responded to treatment until about 2 a.m. November 29, when her body began to show noticeable signs of fluid retention. On the issue of negligence on the part of the NYSC, the Director General says,
the orientation camp clinic, where the corps member was first treated, has a total of 31 qualified and registered doctors, 20 pharmacists, and 11 nurses.
Findings also revealed that late Ife Dolapo did not indicate her ailment while filling the NYSC online mobilization form. While sympathizing with the family of the deceased, Minister of Youth and Sport Solomon Dalun said the federal government will continue to do everything within its power to sustain the NYSC.
We owe our youth the responsibility of preparing them to be future leaders. And it is only the NYSC that avail young Nigerians the opportunity of coming together to know Nigeria.
It will be recalled that Chinyerum and Asukwo Ukeme also died in Bayelsa and Zamfara State's NYSC orientation camps. In Abuja, Olayin Kaujo, NTA News.
Philosophy defines government as a social contract in which the masses surrender themselves to an authority to look after their welfare, while the people in return carry out their own duties for the common good. These theories and more have been broken down for better understanding in a book titled Democracy, Good Governance and the Legislature by Obialo Cas Obialo. Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia was at the book launch in Abuja and now reports.
The legislature, which is the second arm of government, is one of the key institutions in any democratic system, and its critical role of promoting fair governance is often emphasized. Democracy, Good Governance and the Legislature, a detailed and educative book, is the realization of the author Obialo Cas Obialo's 30 years desire to produce a publication on better understanding of government and the science of politics.
Some of us don't know what it's all about, and knowledge displaces ignorance. People should therefore know what democracy is all about. Those in government also should know what democracy is all about, because when they know what democracy is all about, they will do well.
Book reviewer Professor Greg Ibe said political situations and decisions, given their dicey nature, ought to be handled with knowledge and care, hence the import of the book. He explained that the author has dissected the subject of democracy for knowledge delivery and referred to Cas Obialo as a teacher's teacher.
The book discusses or did discuss political events, decisions, forms or shape of today as this relates to the facts of our history since independence.
Democracy, Good Governance and the Legislature is a general interest book with 302 pages divided into 26 chapters. The author, Obialo Cas Obialo, is from Imo State with various degrees from the universities of Benin, Lagos and Ibadan. In Abuja, Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia, NTA News.
EFCC's case against former First Lady comes up for hearing in Lagos court. Let's join Jennifer for details of the court proceedings. Jennifer, it's over to you.
Thank you, Olajide. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has granted the former First Lady, Patience Jonathan, leave to amend her civil suit. Justice Mohammed Idris granted the application today in Lagos. Vera Chimuba has details of the proceeding.
The former First Lady, Mrs. Patience Jonathan, in the civil suit before Justice Idris Mohammed, is claiming that EFCC froze 4 of her accounts with Skybank in the name of 4 companies. The accounts, she said, have more than $15 million funds belonging to her. The companies had been arraigned on the 15th of September, pleaded not guilty to money laundering in the criminal charge before Justice Babs Kweminu of the Federal High Court. The judge had, however, refused to order forfeiture of the funds to the federal government until the trial of others named in the charge was concluded. EFCC had arraigned the companies with the former Special Advisor on Domestic Affairs to former President Jonathan, Waripomo Dadafa, Amajoyi Briggs, a legal practitioner, and Adedamola Bolokodo, a banker. They all pleaded not guilty to the 17-count charge. The former First Lady, in a separate suit against the EFCC and Skybank, is seeking an order to defreeze the accounts and her money released. Her counsel, Ifedaya Adedipe, told the court that his client amended her claim and filed a motion to regularize the processes. The court granted the request. EFCC counsel Rotimi Uyedapo told the court he would also amend his counter affidavit, which the court granted. Uyedapo accused the applicant of changing the addresses of the companies in her suit. January 18th has been slated for further hearing. In Lagos, Vera Chimuba, NTA News.
Now, the Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Works, Toby Okechukwu, says the National Assembly is working on a bill to establish Nigeria's road fund with the aim of ensuring effective maintenance of roads across the country. The committee chairman said this while speaking with the media after an inspection of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Deji Dowu has the details.
Effective road maintenance is a major challenge for governments of Nigeria, federal, states, and local. These realities have once again brought the issue of raising funds for effective and sustainable road maintenance to the front burner of government attention. One way being exploited for the funding challenges to be tackled is National Road Fund, which different administrations are tinkered with unsuccessfully. The present administration has, however, raised the issue of road fund once again, with the Chairman House Committee on Works saying that the National Assembly has begun the process of enacting the enabling law for the establishment of the fund.
What we've done as a House and as a committee is to introduce the road funds bill that will ensure internally generated revenue for the road sector. So it's not something that you have annual appropriation, which apparently is interventionist in road maintenance. By the time you have the budget, some roads may appear, some may not appear. There are pressure points everywhere. But if you have some fund generated internally, you can dispassionately appropriate them. And that will also take into cognizance the usage of the roads.
When enacted, optimism of stakeholders are quite high that the law will ease the funding challenges of road maintenance and development in Nigeria. In Lagos, the Chido, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. Nationwide news continues with Olajide in Abuja.
Thank you, Jennifer. Moving on. One of the biggest cultural party in Nigeria, Abuja Carnival, has come to an end, leaving behind sweet memories that will linger on in the hearts of many. Serafina Okon brings us the sights and sounds of the yearly festival full of cultural heritage.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who was represented by Senator Babafemi Ojudu, maintained that the federal government is desirous in moving the creative industry to an enviable height for the nation's youths to develop their talents in a positive manner. He said with the display of mastery and complete grasp of the creative industry at the just concluded fiesta by participants from across the country, the abundant talent they showcased is a testimony to the fact that the sector is viable.
What you have done has shown that Nigeria is bound for the high.
That 12 states participated in the event.
Night had different cultural troops from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country that thrilled the audience with dancing skills. House Committee on Culture and Tourism, Omorege Ogbeide Ihama, said the cultural night was aimed at showcasing the rich and diverse cultures of Nigeria to the outside world.
Acknowledge the role of culture as a key driver and enabler of economic, social, and environmental development process.
This 2016 Carnival is different than before. So today, I was proud for our own leaders. So let God give them their hand to support us like this.
That was very good and interested. We enjoy watching it.
The top 4 winners will perform at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Patricia Philip Bedai, NTA News.
Tourism experts have commended government's efforts in revamping the sector, especially the creative arts, in boosting the nation's economy and creating jobs. Talatu Ezurike reports that they were speaking on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live.
Nigeria is blessed with rich cultural heritage and is a force to reckon with in the creative industry. However, policy somersaults and neglect were some factors that affected the sector, which the present government is addressing for developmental gains.
There must be some kind of deliberate policy that makes it as integral as studying the sciences was at one point in our history. So that way a child starts earning from when he's even in primary school. Why not? If he has the gift, just guide him and let him start earning his own money, even to pay his fees, if possible.
The Ebra hand-woven cloth, 1994, Calabar, Nafes. They came first. It was used in designing Nigerian military wares, but today we spend billions to import foreign material.
There are 3
aspects that the government is here to look into. Money laundering through arts, tax evasion. The other issue is funding of nefarious things, drug, terrorism, and whatnot through arts. That is why you need to regulate this profession.
It is widely held that Nigeria has all the takes to be a preferred tourist destination through the various carnivals and festivals, but that the issues of enabling environment and private partnership must be taken seriously to stand out. Talati Ezarike, NTA News.
Thank you, Talatu. You can watch these news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. This is Nationwide on the NTA. We now pause for some messages. The news continues in just a moment.
This is a happy moment for me and for all Nigerians.
Amina Ali Nkeke, the first Chibok school girl to be rescued in the renewed onslaught against the Boko Haram insurgency.
Amina's rescue gives us new hope.
Federal government has formally received the 21 abducted Chibok girls.
These dear daughters of ours have seen the worst that the world has to offer. It is now time for them to experience the best that the world can do for them. Government will sustain the effort until all the remaining girls return safely.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0805-502-9637, 0803-450-9726, 0909-9708-111. Horizon Caterers, experience catering beyond the horizon.
Chairman of all chairmen. Oh, let me wash your hand for you. Let me take toothpick and... Hey. According to Professor Tranquilizer,
I am disappointed, aghast, crestfallen, and vanquished at your shameful display.
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanso, Oguz Baba.
I'd like to see Mr. Udo Eto.
I hear you now, but find me something.
Are you mad?
I go. Goodness, I guess you show your shit.
Oh.
Very nice man. Generous.
Okay, anything for the guests. Maybe feature or something.
Happy weekend, sir. Thank you.
Today is Wednesday.
Professor John Bull, this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times.
I'm finished. Who finished you?
Over
and out.
Welcome to the new speed of life.
The essence of having a leader. When you promise, you make sure that you fulfill your promises. And that's what I'm after in particular, the success of my husband's administration. And he can't do it alone except with the help of the governors, the governor's wives, and all members of our progressive party.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa, and grills. and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jades, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jades Hotels, welcome to life.
Thanks for being there. And if you're just joining us, this is NTA Nationwide. Plateau State Police Command embraces the Change Begins With Me campaign. Details with Shehu as we link up our Jaws Network Center. Shehu.
Thank you, Olajide. Good afternoon and welcome to Jaws. As part of efforts towards repositioning the Nigeria Police for greater efficiency and professionalism, the Plateau State Command has officially launched its Change Begins With Me campaign. Yusuf Umar reports that as part of its social responsibility, the command also lectured members of the public on the need to always check their health status and use protective measures where necessary.
Begins With Me campaign by the police force, Plateau State Command. The force has also officially launched its rapid response unit for members of the public to take advantage of it. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Peter Babatunde, says the measures taken in repositioning the force was out of the Inspector General of Police efforts at ensuring display of courage, commitment and dedication of the force in discharging their responsibility. On the rebranding of the force Public Complaint Rapid Response Units, the CP says is to checkmate themselves and give the public the avenue to report any of their excesses.
For us to partner with them very well so that we can get the required information to ensure criminals are kept behind bars. So that is the essence of the whole thing. It's all about community policing and bringing policing to everybody's doorstep for a better society.
Our ways of doing things must have to change to ensure that we make progress in this country.
Flyers were distributed and same occasion is expected to be organized by other police units in the states. In Jos, Yusuf Umar, NTA News.
In fulfillment of its mission to give relief to the downtrodden, the Center for Caring, Empowerment and Peace Initiative, CP, has donated relief materials to over 100 widows who were displaced due to insurgency in the northeast. Cameron Kaneladoja has the details.
The widows came from parts of Bauchi State, the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment to Kuba, the internally displaced persons camp in Riom and Jos South, and they cut across all religious divides. Some of the widows were married to military officers who died during insurgency combat in the northeast, while others as a result of the farmer-headsman conflict. Coordinator and founder of CP, Dr. Rebecca Samuel Daly says the center will continue to find means of cushioning the hardship faced by the widows.
Giving a lot of relief material and livelihood, we are teaching the women a lot of skills so that they will find something doing.
Dr. Daly notes that the center has built houses for some of the widows in different parts of the north. Some of the widows speak.
For them to have widows and the orphans in mind, to help us one way or the other. May God continue to help the organization. I don't know what to say. My sisters, thank you.
Items donated include bags of grains, cooking oil, seasonings, and toiletries. CP was founded in 1989 with the mission of advocating for the voiceless. The exercise will be replicated in Nasarawa, Gombe, and other states with IDPs from the northeast and other conflict zones. In Jos, Ekemeren Kanengladuja, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. It's back to Olajide in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Joe. Fiafa Commander of Operation Lafia Dole in the Northeast, Major General Loki Rabo says Operation Rescue Finale at the Sambisa Forest has begun yielding results as they are succeeding in clearing the area of Boko Haram remnants. Succeeding. Major General Irabo said this while giving progress reports at a media briefing in Maiduguri. He said since the army have returned the heat on them, many of the terrorists now disguised as civilians in IDP camps and are fleeing in different directions.
That the Boko Haram currently are in total disarray. This is due to our current military operations. Even, of course, the Mamanur and Shekau faction clashed again recently, which, of course, has further forced the Boko Haram remnants at Kafar to disperse in confusion and desperation. To come to their senses, they give up and know that their end is in sight. Let me therefore reiterate my earlier admonishment to the misguided Boko Haram terrorist elements to give up their ignoble adventure. They are advised to surrender to the military or other security agencies without further delay. I wish to reassure them that they will be humanely treated in line with international best practices. Of course, what you find on the screen right now are some of them that have surrendered to us.
The Nigerian Police Service Commission has released the list of successful applicants for police recruitment exercise carried out between April and May this year. A statement by the Commission indicates that the General Duty Police, made up of 500 cadet ASPs, 500 cadet inspectors, and 7,500 constables, were selected based on merit and federal character. It adds that the Commission had also completed processes of recruiting 1,500 specialists and shortlisted applicants for disciplines that require further professional and expert interview. The statement affirms that this recruitment is in fulfillment of the President's directive to inject 10,000 policemen into the force. Governor Gwai grants amnesty to prison inmates. Let's join Chinyere in Enugu Network Center for these and other stories from the axis. Good afternoon, Chinyere. It's over to you.
Good afternoon, Olajide, and welcome to Enugu. Ebonyi State government is to empower 3,000 women and youths for dry season farming by January next year. Governor David Umahi gave a hint at the 43rd Combined Convocation Ceremony of the Federal College of Agriculture, Ishiagu. Ben Asogwa has details.
Presented by the State Commissioner for Education, Governor David Umahi said his administration is working hard to strengthen the state economic base to ensure that it does not depend on Federation allocation accounts.
We call upon Nigerians to know that this is not the time to pay lip service to agriculture. We are about to enter the dry season rice by local irrigation and also our own way of using even pumping machine.
Provost of the college, Professor Justin Ambada, said the college is vigorously pursuing its 10-point agenda aimed at making it a center of excellence. She, however, decried lack of power supply to the college, poor transportation system, and inadequate accommodation, among other challenges.
It has more than 200 hectares of land. The academic program is 60% practical and 40% theory.
Senator Sonny Obuaji, representing Ebonyi South Senatorial Zone, said the college is living up to its statutory responsibilities by inculcating practical experience in youths in the field of agriculture. Former Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Professor Baba Yusuf Abubakar, said the school curriculum reflects existing realities of national and global transformation aimed at repackaging agriculture for better service delivery. Fellowship awards of the college were conferred on some notable personalities for contributing to the growth of the college. 1,911 graduates received certificates, diplomas, and higher national diplomas. The college authorities were later joined by the award recipients in cutting the anniversary cake. From Ishago, Ben Asogwa, NTA News.
The Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has granted amnesty to 7 inmates of Enugu prisons as part of efforts to decongest the cells. Informer Ndu Okoli reports that the last amnesty exercise in Enugu State was 18 years ago.
Out of the 7 inmates who benefited from the amnesty, 2 were granted unconditional pardon and release, while the death sentence of 5 others was converted to life imprisonment. Presenting the release papers to the controller of Enugu prisons, the Enugu State Governor, who was represented by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Chief Miletus Eze, said the gesture was part of the state government's strategies towards decongesting the cells in Enugu prisons.
Since 1999, this exercise has not been carried out in Enugu State, but because of the nature of the governor we have, he has decided to exercise that function.
The controller of prisons in Enugu State, Reverend Canon Ifeanyi Isaiah Amalele, commended the state governor for the gesture, which he said is the first of its kind since the onset of the current democratic dispensation. While thanking the governor for his support to the prison formations in the state, the controller expressed hope that the amnesty becomes regular. 1,939 inmates are currently in the Enugu prison custody, which has the capacity to accommodate only 648 inmates. In Enugu, Ifeoma Ndu Okolie, NTA News.
Others a bit from here is back to you, Olajide. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. As part of activities that marked the 2016 Nigerian Society of Engineers Conference, the NSC spouses, led by the wife of its president, Dame Nkechi Anyeji, installed a solar-powered borehole at the Primary Healthcare Center, Ikot Anyai Corner community in Akwa Ibom State. At the commissioning of the project, wife of Akwa Ibom State Governor Martha Udom Emmanuel commended NSC spouses for remembering the needy in her state and urged the community to protect the borehole so as to make optimum use of it. Wife of the NSC president, Dame Nkechi Anyeji, told the community that the gesture was meant to meet one of their basic needs.
Thank you for using this great forum, NSC Spouses Forum, to bring succor to this health center that have been lacking and have been wanting water projects like this.
Many communities in our country that lack potable water. It then occurred to me to install a borehole, a solar-powered type, because whatever community we decide to put the borehole in may probably be lacking steady power supply.
Paramount ruler of the community, Edidem Silas Akpan, commended NSC spouses and noted that the provision of borehole will promote the deliverance of healthcare services to his community. General Yakubu Gowon visits Oba of Benin as Akawa inaugurates stadium in Ozara Polytechnic. Details with Obey in our Benin studio. Hello, Obey. It's over to you.
Hello, Olajide. Thank you for joining us in Benin. The former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, has identified prayer as an instrument to revive Nigeria. General Gowon said this when he visited the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewa II, at his palace. Elizabeth Owotoma has the details.
The former head of state, who said he's in Benin City for his pet project, Nigerian Praise, noted that he's at home in the Benin Kingdom. He said his visit to the palace became necessary and called on the kingdom to join hands in praying for the nation to quickly recover from its economic recession.
A courtesy and to His Majesty, and also to congratulate him for his coronation. You know that God has solved a lot of our problems, without famine. And what will it be without that prayer? No, I think it is doing it in many, many ways that you may not realize.
While recalling historic moments, Oba Eware II thanked General Yakubu Gowon for uniting the nation.
My father welcome you personally, the Benin people, and Nigeria in general, because where people were thinking Nigeria was going to break up, Nigeria didn't break up.
In Benin, Elizabeth Owotoma, NTA News.
And now to security. The Commissioner of Police, Edo State, Haliru Gwandu, has warned criminals in the state to relocate elsewhere or be ready to face heat from his men. The Commissioner gave the warning when the command paraded some suspects in Benin City. Good luck, Anaini reports.
The suspects, who are mainly youths, were paraded for alleged involvement in armed robbery, kidnapping, murder, cultism, and illegal possession of firearms. Items recovered from the suspect include AK-47 rifles, live ammunition, battle axe, motorcycles, laptop, army uniforms, among others. Commissioner of Police, Edo State, Haliru Gwandu, who expressed concern at the rate of youth involvement in crime, said the command is ready to checkmate the activities of criminals in the states.
And with them, we have recovered 2 AK-47, each carrying 3 magazines. That means each carrying 99 rounds of live ammunition.
Some of the suspects narrated their involvement.
Based on the pressure, sir. So that's why I decided to join court, sir.
I took battery with the battery and laptop, sir. This is the third time CP Haliru is parading suspects since he assumed duty in the state 3 months ago. In Benin, I am Good Luck Inaini, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's over to you at Abuja for the rest of Nationwide News.
To multiply the benefits of the Continental Free Trade Area and promote development in Africa, a comprehensive vision of the planned trade and development project needs to be in place. These were the views expressed by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria.
For long, African leaders have toyed with the idea of liberalization of trade in goods and services across their borders. 2017 has been targeted for the creation of a Continental Free Trade Area, CFTA. On Good Morning Nigeria, guests discussed the possibility of this vision of trade and development coming into fruition.
It will enhance manufacturing because raw materials can very easily come from neighboring African countries rather than coming from Europe or coming from Asia. So once we can harness our ability to take resources from within, then it goes a long way to develop manufacturing, to develop technology, to develop industry.
Reflecting on the experience of existing regional trade parks such as the EPA and ETLS, concerns were raised, especially with regards to infrastructure constraints, which tend to hinder marketing and access to raw materials.
And why that's important, those roadblocks, as a figure of speech, why it's important to deal with them is that they're actually the lower hanging fruits. They'll take less money, to deal with, but more political.